pretty much, it's been a two-man Rookie of the Year race all throughout the season. Yourself, yourself, and then the Utah Jazz rookie Donovan Mitchell. When you hear those comparisons to those two, what do you think about? What do you say to that?
I mean, I don't really listen to comparisons. I don't think anybody. You can compare, people and players and whatever it is, but at the same time, everybody's their own player.
Who's the Rookie of the Year this year in your mind?
Who would I pick?
Who would you pick?
Me, for sure.
You pick you?
100%.
Why so over the competition?
I think I've just been playing, solid all year. I mean, if you look at the numbers, you'll see.
I'll look at the numbers.
People would know the game, though.
Yeah, I understand.
Back at the Sports Shop, Philly, Forte Hair Salon, Broad and Stenton. Big Ooh, our special guest still here. T, myself, JB, and Mike. And we bring in a new special guest from Fox 29, Sean Bell. Appreciate you hanging out with us.
What's going on, man? Appreciate it.
All right, well, you all heard the clip. Ben Simmons couldn't get through the question. The guy asking him the question couldn't get through the question. So it's ridiculous that we even have this conversation about Ben Simmons being Rookie of the Year. But here we are. I can't even imagine that there's anybody out there that honestly legit believes that Ben's not the best rookie. Before we even get into anything else with Ben, just not the best Rookie of the Year.
It's a done deal. Come on, man. Why is it even a question? They just laugh at it.
I don't think that's actually the question, though. The actual question is people that are disagreeers asking is really, should he be eligible rather than is he the best?
Yes.
He's eligible because
he didn't step on the floor.
You're right. I'm not saying he shouldn't be. I'm just saying that's the only real argument anybody could make.
Listen, I don't think he should be considered a rookie. I'm 100% on that side. Like when Blake Griffin won, why is he a rookie? Like you had a whole year to prepare with a team. You had a whole year to get coaching. It's your second year, okay?
Well,
you got drafted with Brandon Ingram, but still,
that's a
you
big
have
difference.
a big advantage over everyone else. Now, the rule is that he's a rookie, so he should win it outright, but I think that's a bad rule.
You think, well, let me ask you this. Do you honestly think that Donovan Mitchell has some sort of disadvantage that Ben Simmons got? Like Ben Simmons got exponentially better his rookie year just sitting around shooting?
I think if he ain't step on the court, I think he should be considered his rookie year. He didn't play a game last season. I don't really see, and you just gotta look at what he's doing. Like nobody else playing like him. The great saluting him. You see LeBron and them, they taking their hat off to him. I think it's evident. You know what I mean?
He's definitely Rookie of the Year, and I agree with the rule. I think if you don't play a game, you can practice all day. Like in baseball, they're not considered a pro until they come up to the big leagues. He didn't play a game; he just practiced. That's it. Probably practiced and worked on his body. That's it. He didn't play an actual game. So,
but I think being around it counts. Like that's a reason why in college a redshirt freshman is better than a pure freshman. Because you get to work out, you get to learn the coach's system.
They do it in high school too. They have
the speed of the game.
Exactly. You get to practice with cats.
But I think you got to play in a real game to get the real speed of the game. Because you playing against your teammates, y'all going hard, but y'all not going hard to where like I'm a trash you type hard. Like in a real game, he in a real game against opposing teams from, you know what I mean? He's dominating.
It's way more physical.
It's like
the competition.
But your first year playing is your first year. I mean, I hear what you're saying with the preparation and the practice, but it's like this is his first year playing, and everything you see that Ben Simmons is excelling about, everything that he's excelling at are things that we knew he could do. Right. We knew he'd be a good passer. We knew he'd be, he was a good rebounder. He's not displaying anything that we didn't know that he could do. This is all part of his game. So yes, he practiced with the team. Yes, he had time to sit and watch the team grow. But all he's doing is what we drafted him for.
Exactly.
That's why he was the number one pick in the draft to begin with.
I just don't know how much you can get better. I mean, personally, I wouldn't go to college. Like I wouldn't. I'd go right to the NBA if I could, and I think the NBA would be better off going the way like Simmons and others, and that was just by accident because he gets hurt. But if my option was to go to play at Duke or someplace for a year and a half, or go sit, no, I wouldn't play like a red shirt in the NBA. I would definitely be a red shirt in the NBA. I think there's benefit to it. I just don't know how much better Ben got. Because that's what people are using now.
I think he's
and
already
saying,
good.
Yeah, that's
No, he was already dope, and I think he would have probably won the Rookie of the Year regardless. But he'll tell you
That
himself. Like,
technicality.
I've talked to him before that.
Right.
Listen, I learned a lot sitting out.
Okay.
Every player learns a lot
Sure.
sitting out,
Right.
and just camaraderie with your teammates. So, I mean, that chemistry you have, like
Yeah.
that's in any anything you do. If you're around people and you gain that chemistry, it gotta count.
It's funny. I heard somebody compare it to how Aaron Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre
Yeah.
and came right in and just controlled the
Didn't
team.
miss a beat.
You know what I mean? But I don't know. I mean, I don't think they should change that rule. I think that rule should stay the same because it's not fair. It's just like, folks, he played how many games? Like, if you change the rule, will he be like the next year? You should change it. If he don't play a certain amount of games, he still can be a rookie.
Like
you know what I'm
baseball
saying?
has a certain amount of games you can play
Yeah,
before
like
you
he's
lose
still
that.
a rookie. Next year he'll still be a rookie.
So
You
let's
know,
look at it like this, because Ooh brought up just he bring up like how well he's playing and the greats tipping his hat, and this is a team that has just dominated this year at times, and they've taken everybody by storm. He's not going to win it. I know he's not going to win it. He's a rookie because that's going to be the big factor. He's also not scoring enough points. But you can't tell me that we shouldn't at least be talking about this guy in the same conversation as anybody else you want to name MVP as far as the impact he's having on his team. Doesn't mean he's the MVP, Sean. Don't give me that look. I'm not saying he's the MVP, but he needs to be in the discussion. If you're going to talk about the way Russell impacts his team, James Harden impacts his team, LeBron impacts Cleveland, how are you not looking at what Ben Simmons is doing and saying on both sides of the floor he's not an MVP, at least impacting the game like that?
You know
At
why?
least be mentioned.
You think he should be mentioned?
Ooh, I'm
At least
crazy.
be mentioned. Like,
Thank you. Tell him that.
I'm gonna agree with Sean. I don't think he should be mentioned yet because he didn't
Or
do it
MVP?
enough games.
I'm not saying win it, too. I'm
No.
just saying just talked about.
Embiid should be mentioned too. Then
That's in
Okay.
the conversation.
No, but I think what takes Embiid out, unfortunately, is the games that he's missed.
63 games, right, he played this year?
63 games takes you out of the MVP conversation. But I think seeing what the Sixers have done, especially lately in this last stretch, without Embiid, that puts Simmons at least in the conversation.
What's the
I agree with you.
conversation? Let's like
5 people in the NBA that should be talked about as MVP.
Y'all
He should be.
out of y'all mind,
He
right?
should be. He should be
Top
5.
five
He
right
should be
now?
the 5th player.
top
He
five.
should be the fifth. No.
No way.
I think he's in the top 10.
Westbrook.
Go ahead, Mike.
You got LeBron. You got Westbrook. You got Harden.
Harden definitely.
Okay.
You probably-
And I'm saying, not them, of course not
You
them.
got to throw in Durant.
Do you?
You have to.
I don't know.
I'm not saying
mean,
he wins it.
Yeah.
Why
But
is
we're
it,
talking about the
why is
conversation.
it DeMar DeRozan over him?
Oh, I didn't.
No.
He's a leader of Toronto, and they're a better team.
Because you also have a Kyrie there, right? And you have a guy that's been influenced.
Lowry.
Lowry.
That's what I'm talking about.
No,
DeMar
Lowry. My
DeRozan.
fault, Lowry. No, I would take Kyrie out. I'm saying.
Lowry isn't even a legit All-Star this year.
So you taking DeRozan over Ben Simmons?
As an MVP candidate, yes.
Toronto's not winning games because DeMar DeRozan is isolated the whole
Dominating
night.
game.
They do play 10 players in their rotation.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not DeMar DeRozan dropping 30 a
Best
night.
player on the best team in the conference.
He's the best
That
scorer.
makes you the top. That makes you a top 5 candidate.
Okay, but hold on a second.
No, it don't.
Hold on a
Best
second.
player.
Traditionally,
on the best
NBA
team.
MVP
In-
voting, that does
Yes.
make you a top
But the
5
Sixers-
candidate.
Just like James Harden's the best player on the best team. in
Sixers
the
have been the
conference.
second best team since Christmas.
What does that mean?
That means that they've had amazing.
It's 82 games.
Right, but Toronto has cooled off while the Sixers have heated up. That's
has the
why they're in
best
the 3.
record? I don't
Okay,
care
but
about-
no, you can't give me
High.
right. You can't give me the long range, and then when I'm giving you the short range of what Simmons is doing.
MVP
That's the
about
rule.
entire season.
But that's the rule they should change. They should add in the playoffs. Like they should wait to announce who the MVP is until after the playoffs because Toronto's going to lose. And then would you consider him an MVP if they lose in the second round of the playoffs?
Or Ben, yes.
Even though
No,
Ben's
even
gonna go
Ben
farther
to the
and
Eastern
beat them.
Conference.
If they both lose to Cleveland, then yes.
Okay,
No.
but we still have an argument here with DeMar. The point is that you have 3 guys locked down.
This is Philly bias. Listen, I'm in. I love
Philly bias is
I love
Dr.
my,
J.
I love my
No.
city, but this is too biased.
It's too biased.
It's
No,
too
I agree with
He's-
what you're saying.
but hold on a
I
second.
agree with what you're saying.
He's guarding the best guy in the backcourt every night.
DeRozan is too.
Okay, but he's not. I don't think that DeRozan's as good of a defender as Ben
He's
Simmons
not.
is.
Ben is. We really feel like Ben is an elite defender. Is
Not
that what
elite.
you're saying here?
He's a
But
better
DeRozan
defender than
not-
DeRozan.
Like it's DeMar DeRozan's a really good defender.
He's
So
not
Ben's
elite.
better though. Ben's guarding anybody that they throw at him. He's guarding ones. Remember that big concern
He
at
said
the
it's
start of the
Philly
year?
bias.
This
Is DeRozan really? Is he a really good defender, or is he an elite defender?
That's-
I think both of them are really good defenders.
Okay, I'll
Ben
give
is
you
a
that.
really good defender.
I'm not
He's
one
not
of the
elite.
elite.
No.
Okay.
You're right. You're right on that. But is it crazy to say that there are maybe 5 other guys in the NBA right now that you would have this conversation with, and Ben's kind of hovering there? I mean, you want to throw Joel Embiid in there as a co? That's fine. Maybe at some point this would be the co-MVP. It's never going to happen in the NBA, but
So over Damian Lillard too?
well, you got
That's a good
another
man.
guy. I mean,
That's a good
Man,
man.
Lillard don't even be getting voted in the All-Star game. What makes you think he gonna get an MVP vote?
season though.
But they're
Yeah.
third in the West.
and CJ's having a hell of a year too.
But not Dame.
But
That's
Dame
Dame
is the
team.
leader.
That's Dame
Hold
team.
on a second. That's an all-star level play, what you get from a column as far as a scorer, and he's a matchup nightmare for people, right?
Yes, and Ben has Joel.
You
Okay.
said Doc overrated, man. I can't.
Yeah, he is overrated. He is overrated.
My man.
All right,
He didn't
so
say that.
you wouldn't put it. You wouldn't say that if you are to get 7 people, 7 teams, Sixers wouldn't be.
Yeah,
Let's go around.
Yeah, I think they'll be in the top 7.
As far as one guy represented, if you
Oh
want to
yeah,
have,
I would take Ben. I would take Ben Simmons for the Sixers to represent the MVP.
yeah,
Yeah, I would take Ben Simmons.
I think
I
it,
wouldn't put it in the top
Okay.
7 though.
not yet.
No.
How much more time do you need to see like this before? Because I think a lot of it, it's not biased, but I think a lot of what hurts him is that he's young.
Well, in the next 3 years, yes, Ben is going to be in the
2.
conversation.
I don't know, and
Could be
here's
2.
real
Could be
quick.
2,
Let me throw this out at y'all real quick. I don't know if he will because he doesn't score enough.
And that's what I was about to say. That's the one thing he needs.
Right. Which is why I'm so adamant about pushing this now, is to try to get people on board at the jump, so that 3 years from now, when he's lighting it up and he's only averaging 16 a night, people will still see the value of everything else he's doing.
But the game, he probably will be responsible for maybe like 75% of the scoring.
Oh, I'm
So
not-
was John Stockton, and you hate him.
Nobody's
Yeah,
saying that
but
he
it's not
shouldn't
like
be
Ben doing
considered.
it. John
It's
Stockton?
just,
No, I don't hate him. I just don't like him over Pippen.
but it's not a matter of that Ben shouldn't be considered. But if you look at really how that voting goes, a guy who averages 16 points a game
Oh, no.
is going to have a hard time getting that
Especially
national
MVP.
recognition
Yeah.
from guys who aren't even actually watching every game. A lot of these voters look at stats, look at highlights. They don't have a chance to watch all 30 teams, all 82 games to really get true information.
I think
So-
it'll be a little bit different though because he'll average a triple double. If you average a triple double,
Right.
Yeah, you're saying
because of
something.
those stats, they're gonna put you in the conversation.
So
They're gonna
Russ,
know.
Russ
And
the
I
MVP
think
this year then?
no, he's not gonna average a triple
I'm going
double.
with
But James Harden.
I'm going with
I'm going
Harden.
with
James Harden's an MVP.
I'm going
But
with
I'm
I'll go
saying
with Harden.
Russell Westbrook won the MVP last year
Because he averaged.
because he averaged a triple double. Like James Harden probably should have won the MVP because he was more impactful. So that's why I'm saying if Ben averages a triple double, he'll get noticed. They'll be like, all right.
He be having triple doubles at halftime.
and he can do that because he's averaging as a rookie.
It would have to knock off somebody
16,
who we know is going to
9,
be putting up like 30 a night.
So a question. Donovan Mitchell scores more points than Ben Simmons. You think that's going to affect the Rookie of the Year voting?
No.
Since
No,
we just said,
because
oh, okay.
because Donovan I don't think does nearly enough things that
don't.
Ben does.
He
Exactly.
don't.
Right.
So you have a scorer, a guy who can get to the rack, who can shoot, who can pretty much do what he wants with the basketball to score. But I don't think that you have like a complete. And to be honest with you, nobody's passing like that. Not a rookie.